Hi, I'm Bart Hanson, the owner and operator of CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time every Monday. If you want to call in your hand, check out the phone number in the description.
Okay. Hopefully it's a quick thing.
Okay.
I'm curious. Used to play a long time ago, quit for a while, getting way back into it. I've watched a ton of your stuff.
Okay.
I just subscribed to CLP.
Okay.
Haven't gone through everything. Long story short, is it a terrible idea to think about jumping stakes? I feel like I'm comfortable with the game. I'm playing 2-3 at the bike a lot, and I'm getting in weird positions where I'm just like, there's a lot of like sloppiness here. And I don't know, maybe I'm like having too big of an ego, but I'm like, I feel like I should be playing better players. Is that a terrible idea?
Well, that's a very good question. That's a very good question. And what I will say, especially in the LA structure, and this could make a YouTube video too, even though it's not necessarily graphically card thing, but I've always said, and maybe you're not familiar with this because you're sort of a new subscriber, when you have a heavy drop or rake structure like LA is, a drop meaning that anytime you see the flop, they're going to take the full collection. So if you're playing the 100 to 300 cap game, which is the 2-3 blind game, right? Which is actually going to be on the last Wednesday of March. JJ's doing it on Live at the Bike, and I did it last month. They take 6+1, I think. $6 plus one, no matter how big the pot is. So if one person limps in, they're going to take $6 or $7 out of 9. That's a very, very difficult game to beat over the long term. Now, you might beat it for several dollars an hour, something like that. People say, well, I want to do it the right way. I want to build the bankroll up and to move up in stakes. I say it's just, unfortunately, it's just not set up that way, at least in LA, in Southern California. I feel like you should only stay at that level so that you get comfortable with live poker, maybe buying the chips, putting bets out. So, you could play for a couple hundred hours down there. But like some of these other callers that we've talked about here, and these guys are obviously interested in improving their game, but they're still making horrible pre-flop mistakes. The game is like 90% pre-flop. So I feel like it sort of stunts you a little bit. It's pre-flop and value. Like you said, you're not really playing against any good players. You're not really going to play against many good players, to be honest with you, at 553 to 1,000. There are a couple. But if you wanted to play that game optimally, like you're going to play like 15% of your hands, 10% of your hands because of the drop, the multi-way nature. And I just don't know how much that's going to teach you, except for the fact that it's just going to make you patient, right? And also like be able to maybe last through the boredom. Now, what's your bankroll situation?
So I work full time and I make not terrible money. So yeah, like I can finance myself decently well. I'm kind of playing on my off time here. So bankroll isn't that big of a deal. I can play through a downswing. So I think that kind of gives me the answer that I'm looking for. So I appreciate it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just think that, again, obviously you've got a job, right? Like on the side.
Yeah.
So if you have a job, what difference really, I'm not saying to you personally, but what difference does it make what your bankroll is if you have a job? And what I mean by that is that if you can always replenish it, people have these questions about bankroll and they sort of misunderstand. I mean, how many people actually play poker as a sole source of income? I mean, I don't.
Right.
I probably could. I don't think it's the smartest thing to do. But the only time you should really be super conservative with your bankroll is if you actually have a mathematical risk of ruin, type of concern. And you can Google, people who are watching this, you can Google risk of ruin. It's like a mathematical thing having to do with your standard deviation and your win rate and your variance. But what difference does it make if you start with a couple grand and you're working and you move up to 5-5 and you lose it? So what? See, that's what I'm saying, that people sometimes get in their head. They're like, oh, I need to have a poker bankroll and like build it up. Why? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't.
I gotcha.
It doesn't make any sense to me. So I think you're approaching it in the right way. I don't.
Okay.
I just think it's going to stunt you more than I need to play with better players. It's just the structure of the game and the drop to be able to play that game like for the highest win rate. It's just almost a growth. It's just, you're not going to really improve all that much, and it's a lot of boredom, and maybe you start to dislike the game. You know.
Sure. Yeah.
Now,
What I find a lot, it's just weird to 3-bet and get like 5 callers.
yeah, I mean, sure, but
So
see,
yeah,
that's
I feel like it's weird.
yeah, but that I don't see. That's sort of where I didn't really want you to go with that. I don't feel you shouldn't you shouldn't go up to 5-5 because they'll respect your raises up there. Do you see what I'm saying? If you're in a game where you 3-bet and get 5 callers, that's great. The reason why
Sure.
I'm saying that you should move up to the 5-5 is because of the drop in the rake structure, and to play that game to the best of your ability is really boring, and you're not going to learn anything. But I'm not saying you again personally, but I don't want you to have the attitude, well, I raised from under the gun, and this guy called me with 9-5 offsuit, and I had aces, and the board came out, 9-5 deuce, and I bet, and he went all in, and I called. I can't play this game. I need to move up so that like where people play like
Right.
real ranges. Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that's not winning
Okay.
poker talk. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, not you, but
Right.
I would just say,
Fair enough.
yeah, I would just say, yeah, sure, move up because the drop structure is better. You're not going to be so bored. You'll be deeper. And you will be playing against some better players, so it will improve your game too. And by the way, introduce yourself to me because I'm going to be at the bike all month. What's your name?
Nikolai.
Nikolai. Yeah, come over and introduce yourself to me. Thanks for the call, Nikolai. That's a good one. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out crushlivepoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA100. Click on the link right there.